Hello everybody, it's VerticalSandwich and welcome back to Let's Play Dragon Quest VIII, and this is the last scene in the deal. Like, this is the thing. The thing we've been waiting for. Pretty great, huh? Okay, some things before we go into the new area. If you come to the Dark Ruins, after you've resurrected Rapthorn, but I think before you... It's just after you resurrected Rapthorn is really the only important part I can think of. It's not... Anyway, there were those four ghosts in the Dark Ruins who talked about Rapthorn and how much they loved him. So, if you talk to them... This one will say something different. Ooh, I can feel it, the beat, the pulse, the throb of darkness. Lord Rapthorn has returned at last. My eternal wait has ended. It is time for we slaves of darkness to rally at his feet. And then he disappears. Okay, I checked the rest of the Dark Ruin, and the rest of those guys disappear as well when he disappears, so. Alright, and there's our Raging Bull helm. Fantastic. So now I actually really don't have kind of an agenda as far as the alchemy pot goes, and why it will become really apparent. Well, will become apparent eventually, although not right away. But I really can't think of anything to make right now, so we're probably just gonna let the alchemy pot sit. There are things we could be making, I'm sure, but. Alright, so we are flying to the platform. Well, we're gonna be flying to the platform anyway. The thing. Oh, okay. That scene at the end of the game, where it shows the stuff happening and the seal appearing, that stuff means nothing to you if you haven't found this area during gameplay. But we know where it is, so I think it's over by Argonia. I'm just having some trouble finding Argonia. All right, well this is like, yeah, this is garbage. This is not where we need to be. I was going to say, isn't it nice to be flying around without Rapthorn in the sky, but he's in the sky. Because, again, this picks up right before we beat him, so. Alright, so it's over here somewhere. Okay, there it is. So there's this big platform, this table-looking thing. That's pretty cool. I mean, like, you know, it's a neat thing to have. And it draws attention to itself. I mean, when you get the God Bird, like Soulstone, you're supposed to see it and go, oh, I wonder what that is. Like, that's the way that works. So here it is. And it's obviously some sort of, you know, ruin of some kind or something. Or some sort of, I don't know, maybe it's supposed to be a giant altar. I mean, the view from it's really cool. I love kind of the full design of the game that, like, the little areas below don't disappear because you're in big areas above and stuff. So if we walk over here, it'll teleport us. Into a cave. With no explanation. Just like, hey, there's a cave. So. And we'll have, these are after the end of the game level monsters. So, they're not going to be the easiest thing in the world to kind of take care of. However, there's going to be another area of monsters after this one. So, these guys will be really hard, and then the ones after that will be really, really hard. So yeah, so I don't know exactly what this area is, but we'll call it the Dragovian Path. How about that? That may be its name. I'm not sure. So. Again, I really don't know. It actually ends up being kind of segmented into like 2 very strange areas, but the first one's just this cave full of stuff. Well, full of enemies that are trying to kill us. Which isn't the whole world full of enemies trying to kill us? Really? Anyway. And so this is it. Like I said, there's a whole other there's a whole other plot line that goes around with this area. There's oh geez, a Hell's Gatekeeper. That's exactly what I needed, more enemies. So, this is going to take a bit. It's going to take a bit because these enemies are going to be harder to beat. Far harder than what was the last thing of enemies that we had to deal with. Like, we just did the stuff in the Black Citadel. Yeah, this stuff's a little tougher than that. So, oh, we're making headway now. I mean, at least now they're dying. Say at least now we're dying. That would be a bad thing, wouldn't it? Alright. I actually, in my other, like, the file I played before this, which I was considering my practice file if I hadn't outpaced my LP file so much, I was trying to fill in the enemy list to like kill every enemy in every area, and I had never run into these Dark Devil dogs. Like there was an enemy missing in this area, and I couldn't, for the life of me, figure out what it was. And then I ran into these guys, and I was like, "Oh, it's these guys." Ha! We dodged your collar, you jerks. Okay. Now my plan with this area too is, because there are going to be some treasure chests and stuff, we're going to try to take the most direct route through here. And if we find treasure chests, we'll open them. There's one I know for sure we'll go out of our way to get. And then later I'll come back to show you kind of what's hanging around here. But really, if you spend enough time in here, this place will beat you up. Like, this is a pretty decent jump between the Black Citadel in here. But, you know, obviously, we'll level up reasonably fast. Yeah, we get over 2,000 experience for that battle anyway. So yeah, so this is weird, right? Like, we just beat the game, and then the next thing we're doing is, like, we're in a dungeon we've never seen before. Which is great. I mean, I love that about, you know, video games like this where they do stuff like that. They're like, you know, the beating the game is actually unlocks other challenges. Hell hoppers. I like it. I like that the boot falls down and pick it back up. That's hilarious. Again, I just wonder, like, are they born and then they have to run around until they find a dead body or they kill somebody and then they find the boot, like they get the boot. They've evolved, like, parallel to footwear. I don't get it. Or maybe that boot is like a kind of camouflage thing. So I used, I realized I never showed Giga Slash when we got it, but we did get it. Actually, from the battle with Marcello, because I didn't, like, I realized I hadn't written it down anywhere, and I had to backtrack my videos to make sure I'd shown myself getting it. So that was a long time ago. I mean, video-wise. So yeah, so at least at first there's going to be a lot of this. There's going to be a lot of long kind of drawn out battles where I really have to, you know, think about strategy and things like that. And then it'll get easier. And like I said, my plan is to now run through this plot line until we can unlock the other ending of the game. And then we will run through the second ending. And that'll probably be the alternate ending, probably the last thing I do in the LP, I'm thinking. So. And Jessica got a level up! Hooray! I really have to think about what I'm going to do with her stuff, so you may have to give me a moment. Okay, I'm... 1 second. Alright, so that should take us to the next level in whips. Attack power plus 25. And then we'll start working on staves because she gets some cool spells. Actually, if you pump a lot of points into her and Angelo both in staves, they get a lot of the same magic, like a lot of the same really cool stuff. Like Angelo, I think eventually will get oomph. And Jessica eventually gets kazing. So that's nice. Silhouettes. They're not really silhouettes. I mean, well, I guess they are silhouettes, but they're like silhouettes in orange, which is weird. It's very weird. Alright, let's do some damage. So yeah, so this is, I didn't really think about the idea of doing this kind of stuff, like as I was dealing with the main plot line. I was really concentrating about ending the plot line, and then when I got to the end of the plot line, I was just like, like, relief. And then I was like, wait, no, there's like, seriously, like 20 more videos worth of stuff. So, if not more. There might be more than that. I'm not sure exactly how everything's going to work and edit down and things like that. I mean, there's going to be way more. There's going to be way more videos kind of afterwards, but like I said, that there will be some optional afterwards stuff that I will do as bonus videos, because there's just going to be a lot of in-between kind of grinding stuff, I think. And you'll see what I mean. I will talk about it when we get to it. It's not, you know, there's no reason to hurry and try to encapsulate everything we could possibly do in this game, like in the discussion we're having right now. And I don't think that there's a map for this area of the game. I think this is the only mapless dungeon. So we're just going to have to wing it. But we can always evac if we get in trouble or something like that. It's not a big deal. Although if this isn't a big deal, then what is? Good question, Vertical Sandwich. So it's actually really not a good question. Aye. And eventually I will, eventually I will start cutting out random battles. But I don't really think this area is going to be that long. So there's going to be a lot of random monster battles, I think. There we go. 1 down, 4 to go. Well, keep your lightning to yourself, pal. Alright. We're moving forward. The Timber of Tension is helping us destroy things. Hey, look at that. That's nice. Now we're down to 2. And this should probably do it, I would think. Right? Oh, yeah! 1 attack was all we needed. That's great. And Angelo got a level up. Yay, Angelo! I actually would really like to get his swords up to 100. But Charisma was what I was working towards. Miraculous Knight learns Miracle Slash. And learns... Wait, Pearly Gates... Oh, that wasn't what I thought he got for getting his charisma up to 100. Man, I should have been working on swords, because his sword 100 level ability is way better. Well, whatever, live and learn, I guess.